2 drives, 2 touchdowns for the Jacksonville offense, and there have been some big passing plays that have helped key both of them. This time, it's Cade Bell to Andy Jones, and something reminiscent of early on in this season, in which those two hooked up so many times. 6th touchdown catch of the year for Jones from 42 yards out. And Davidson on the ensuing kickoff return are going to start deep in their own territory after Austin Wells slips and falls back at his own 15-yard line. So if you're Davidson, you're looking at a 14-point haul. Just over 5 minutes into the ball game, you've gone 3 and out, and the only time you've had the football. What are you doing?
Well, I mean, sadly, this is probably what both sides expected. Davidson's clearly outclassed here today. JU, one of the better teams in the Pioneer League, and Davidson may be the worst team. Are they worse than Valparaiso?
They are. They already lost to Valpo earlier this year, and that was a close game, 42-35. Valpo prevailed, who we'll see here in Jacksonville in 2 weeks.
Well, I was up at Valpo several years ago when JU beat them 90-3 or something. So
86-7.
Valpo is sort of the standard for ineptness in my eyes.
They've been competitive this year, actually, as Davidson hands off on first down. It is Jeffrey Keel getting the carry off the right side and gains just a few yards.
But that game was one of those things that you can't unsee. I still have these visions of Valpo in that game, and JU could have run backwards. Everybody could have used the other hand if they were right-handed, thrown left-handed or whatever, and they'd have still beaten them about 50-0.
Out of the pistol, Mitchell will operate after the short gain on first down, 2nd down and 7. Check with the sideline and adjust the play. Offensive coordinator Durham Cato signaling it in over there. There's a handful of new coaches on this staff this year for Paul Nichols. Pump fake, rolling to his right. Mitchell buying time. And now he's just going to be hammered right at the sideline by Grady Redding to finish him off out of bounds.
And there ought to be a yellow flag. I don't see one yet, but there ought to be. That was clearly hitting the guy out of bounds. Redding had himself a free shot there and took it. But surprised we didn't see. The blow obviously wasn't that damaging, but it was still clearly late. He's obviously running out of bounds, and he's at least a step and a half out of bounds before he got smacked. But by the way,
there it is.
Well, 3 officials are standing right there, so it's pretty hard to imagine why nobody threw it.
That's why I was kind of curious to see that the guy right there, the side judge, didn't throw it, but it does come out. I guess so. Suppose you can say better late than never. And
the referee was right there next to the side judge, and I don't know where the flag came from, but I didn't see either one of them throw it.
First 15-yard penalty on the Dolphins today. First offensive penalty on JU today. And it moves Davidson out across the 30-yard line to the 34. That's their first down. It comes penalty aided. First down. Quickly snapping it, and it'll be a little gadget play. The Wildcat look with an empty backfield for Keel, who tries the left side and gets next to nothing. The running game has certainly not been very strong. Keel is one of a couple of Florida natives on this team, hailing from Tampa, but he has just 217 yards on 63 carries coming into today's game. How about last week against Campbell? They ran it 23 times for just 3 yards in the game.
Yeah, that play never had a chance. It was a bad play from the get-go, and it went nowhere, as you would expect.
2nd down and 10. Mitchell back in there, and he'll throw. Over the middle, caught. Chevron, that's Morris, who makes a man miss and gets all the way out to the JU sideline. And it's going to be close to a first down. William Morris, who is about as damaging a player that you could see as far as the Davidson offense is concerned. And certainly somebody that head coach Paul Nichols, a former quarterback himself at Davidson, likes to see that you got a safety net like there for his quarterback, Taylor Mitchell.
And I think that's the kind of play they're going to have to be running. They're going to have to take it in little short chunks. They're not athletic enough against JU to be able to beat them deep and so forth. That time they sent guys wide. They put Morrison across the middle, short game, but that's what they're going to have to do to have success.
There's an 11-yard gain. They'll hand off Keel. He will patiently try his way up the middle, weaves his way out just shy of midfield. They'll give him the 48-yard line. That'll be a 5-yard gain on first down.
Hey, gain 5 yards on first down. That's considered a good play. Put yourself in 2nd and 5. Now your whole playbook is open up. It's a running play. It can be a passing play. So that's what you're trying to accomplish. And they did it with their undersized line going right at JU's defensive front.
Under 7 minutes to play here in the first quarter. 14-0 Jacksonville. A little bit of a drive going here for Davidson, though. Mitchell fading under pressure and is able to complete low to the tight end Jones. Right about midfield, they'll give him the 50-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down and short, about 4 to go.
Yeah, gives Jones a helmet sticker for that. He knew he was about to get smacked, but he stayed in there and made the catch for the short gain.
Second catch of the game for the sophomore tight end from Eagle, Idaho. Now, I ask you, David, how a man from Idaho ends up in Davidson, North Carolina.
Well, Davidson College, by the way, is one of the truly great academic institutions in America. I mean, it's Ivy League. It's in that league, same
public Ivy,
level.
You could say.
It's in that same level. I mean, it's I believe Davidson's a private school, but it's a
yeah. I believe you're right.
It's a wonderful school, and what I'm saying is it has a shot to get the best students from all over America.
Davidson calls a timeout before this 3rd down and 4 opportunity, and we will stick around for a little bit. And yeah, you've had an opportunity back when you were just a young pup in the business, David, to cover the Davidson Wildcats, didn't you?
Back in the 60s, a basketball coach named Lefty Giselle went to little tiny Davidson College and turned it into a basketball power. For about 10 or 15 years, Davidson played with the big boys in college basketball. And as a young sports writer in Greensboro, I covered the Davidson Wildcats for a number of years under Coach Lefty Giselle. And by the way, there was a period where their football program is at that next second level was excellent. I remember going to cover the Tangerine Bowl, covering Davidson in the Tangerine Bowl in Orlando on a couple of occasions.
Well, it says here they win in 1969. That's the only one they're credited for.
Well, I was there for that one, and I thought.
Do you remember who they play?
Toledo.
Yeah, that's correct.
And Toledo had a heck of a quarterback who went on to become a Canadian League legend. And I can't recall his name right now, but Chuck Ely, I believe it was.
Final score of that game, 56-33 in favor of the Rockets.
I can also tell you in that game about sometime during the 3rd quarter, all the power went out in Orlando, and it went pitch black at the Citrus Bowl. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. I remember that was an eerie feeling.
3rd and 4 from midfield. Davidson coming out of the timeout. They are 0 for 1 on 3rd downs today. Mitchell under pressure. Flush to his right. He's hit. He will go down. It's Preacher Jenkins picking up the sack. It's 6th of the year. And that will force Davidson to punt.
Well, Jenkins got to be happy about that because on 2 other occasions, he was just about to get himself a sack, and Mitchell got rid of the ball. That time, Mitchell had no place to go, and he got the sack.
Boy, yes, he matched one-on-one with the fullback Hub Saram, and that is a mismatch for the dominant defensive end, T.J. Jenkins, who stands at 6'3", 270 pounds from Darien, Georgia. Another low end-over-end kick, and Benton will have to let that one roll past him inside the 20, down to the 10-yard line, and it'll roll all the way to the 9. Sometimes they say it's so bad it's good, and that would certainly be an example of that for the Davidson punter John Cook, who comes in this game averaging just a hair under 35 yards a punt. In his 67 boots prior to these 2 he's had thus far today. And for once, we'll see JU starting deep in their own territory. They had a really good field position last time. They had decent field position the first time. They're 2 for 2 on touchdown drives when they've had the ball on offense. What do you expect to see here on offense, David?
I can't imagine with a 14-0 lead that they'll change their offense at all. You're right. If this were a 0-0 game and they'd had trouble moving the ball, you would think they might approach it a little differently. But I think JU knows it doesn't matter where they are on the field. Their entire offense can work against this Davidson defense. So I expect JU they may be throwing it right here.
Well, the offensive line has been very good in pass pro thus far today. They'll hand up on 1st down. There's Jamal Adjuma, his first carry of the afternoon. He has just 2 carries the last 2 weeks, averaging 1 a game after starting off so well at the beginning of this season, and he gets 2 yards on his first carry of the afternoon here.
Ben Rowell, the safety, came blitzing up and nailed him right at the line of scrimmage, so a good tackle there by Davidson.
Rowell is 27th tackle of the year from his free safety spot. And this is, you imagine the running game might be a focal point as much as it ever is for JU in this game, to the fact that this Davidson defense gave up 313 yards rushing last week to Campbell. Another shot down the field looking for Benton, who lays out at the 45-yard line, but Cade Threw it just a tad too long there.
Well, I'll defend Cade on this thing. Benton lost his footing. He was halfway stumbling. You know how that sometimes the grass will trip you up?
Yep.
Well, Benton was barely able to keep his balance, so it really slowed him down. I thought when that ball was released that it was going to be a big-time play, but that was one where Benton just couldn't keep his footing well.
Cade coming off a frustrating week last week, just 18 of 32 for 143 yards and an interception in 2.5 quarters of play against the Flyers before taking a seat in favor of Rylan Wells to rest up that ankle. He's already looking better today than he did last week. Throws underneath on third down, caught by Adjaman. He's going to be stopped maybe just shy of the first down marker. They're marking him very close. We'll see where the official spot will end up being, if this is going to be enough for a first down or not. But Adjaman kind of fought forward at the last moment to try and reach out for that first down. He is going to be marked about a half-yard shy, and that means that JU will punt for the first time today.
Interesting, Adjaman has been on the field now for 7 or 8 plays, and in the last couple of weeks he has hardly been on the field. Now, they have not reported any kind of injury that I know of for Adjaman, but he certainly has been noticeable by his absence. Today he's getting quite a bit of action.
Giratano punts for the first time today. A wobbly number, fair caught at the 45-yard line, which is where Davidson will start on offense for the 3rd time today. Teams trading punts a little bit here late in the first quarter. It's still 14-0. Jacksonville leads.